ToonGrin.com.
I'm K.O, and I'm a hero.
But you got a lot more floors to mop before you come close to being a hero.
Okay, I'm training to become a hero. It's great. Yeah! I get to hang out with my amazing new friends.
Looking good, buddy.
And battle all kinds of evil. Gotcha. I'm going to work hard to become the greatest hero ever. Bring on the fire.
Welcome to Watchin' Stuff, the show about watching stuff. I'm NERO, and with me is my Canadian counterpart, WHYBOY, and today we're looking at a... What the hell was that?
I was punching the screen because it's OK K.O time.
Is that like your superpower? Like if you were a video game character? Was that what you do? You just punch things?
Yeah, that's KO's power.
That's not inaccurate. Actually, KO's power pretty much is to punch things. Now, for you guys who don't know, there's a... It's actually pretty new. I believe it was this year it was released.
Yeah, it was just this year. It came out. Let me just double check. Yeah, August 1st, 2017. So just on the month of my birthday.
Yay!
Yeah, and the original pilot came out in 2013.
I don't mean for that to come off as sarcastic as it did. Just to be clear.
I know.
That was a genuine yeah. I mean, I know that my voice gets to a point where it's like, man, he's just sarcastic about everything.
Yeah, it's hurtful all the time.
I didn't mean that.
But yeah, this was the original pilot from 2013, but now in 2017, it's out full on Cartoon Network. In a little 11-minute bits where our young little hero OK K.O is working at a convenience store for superheroes. Or just
what's it called? It's Gar's Bodega?
Yeah, Gar's Bodega at Lakewood Plaza.
At Lakewood Plaza, yeah. So the idea of OK K.O, Let's Be Heroes, that's the full title. It's hard to describe. It's basically like a celebration of like anime and superheroes and big mechs
and video games, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's made by Ian Jones Quarty.
Yeah.
I hope to God I'm pronouncing your name right, sir. Sorry, Ian.
You should text us later just saying like, "Fuck you guys."
That goblin's such an asshole. I'm gonna put a goblin in my cartoon. He's gonna get the shit kicked out of him by KO. Huh.
That would be amazing.
Actually, I'd be more than down with that if he like made like a douchey goblin with a goatee. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, isn't that right? OK K.O? It's OK K.O. OK K.O. Punch! Why is K.O. assaulting that dickish goblin that's an internet personality?
And why is his Canadian friend just standing off to the side, not helping at all?
Yeah! If you guys don't know, Ian worked on Adventure Time, he worked on Steven U, and, great shows, and then he worked on Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, not so great.
Yeah.
And I've never actually seen whatever the hell Knock Force is.
I've never heard of Knock Force.
I bet YouTube will help us, though, eventually.
Yeah.
So, your basic premise is a show that's not really too narratively driven, as opposed to, say, Adventure Time, which is more comedy-oriented but has narrative to it, or Steven Universe, which is actually primarily narratively driven that happen to have comedy into it.
Yeah.
OK K.O is kind of like Adventure Time. It's very much just tongue-in-cheek comedy.
Yeah, with just K.O working at this bodega with his two friends, Enid and Rad.
It's pronounced Radicles.
Radicles, but Rad. As they're just working daily, just sweeping up the store and all that, keeping it clean and all that, until the evil Lord Boxman across the street sends his evil robots that come and just mess things up.
It's fun that Lord Boxman is basically just Walmart.
Yeah. He kind of is, just sending off weapons to basically anybody possible. There is that gun section in Walmart's, so it's not too far off.
That's true. Lord Boxman supports Walmart. # confirmed.
Walmart evil.
Well, WHYBOY, that was accomplished long before OK K.O came out.
That is true. I apologize for stating the obvious.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, when you get down to it, the show is very simple. It's very comedy-driven. You have this little kid who kind of looks like, a Ryu from Street Fighter.
He's an adorable little dumpling.
I'm sorry, he's what?
He's an adorable little dumpling.
He's an adorable little dumpling. That's right. Adorable little dumpling. So this adorable little dumpling is a little human kid. He's living with his single mother, and he wants to become a hero because this is a world of heroes, and heroes are established through awesome trading cards that show you their like level and their abilities. And K.O. has one, and he's like what, 0.1?
Yeah, he's 0.1.
Yeah, he's still not even level 1. Like he's a weak little dumpling.
Yeah, he's a tenth of a hero.
Yeah, but he's got the heart of a hero.
Yeah.
And that's what really matters. And of course, because he wants to grow and he wants to thrive, and it sort of is in a lot of ways. It's kind of like a coming of age story to some extent. Because as we watch the show, a lot of it is, you know, goofy, fun, action-packed, almost in the same line of, like, say, Powerpuff Girls. But then they'll hit you with, like, that episode where it's really emotional.
Yeah. Yeah, in those sort of instances, it becomes sort of like Steven Universe. It's sort of...
Yeah, except Steven hits you in the feels all the time.
Yeah.
It's true, it does.
Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen Steven Universe yet. I will soon, though.
Can you believe this guy?
I'm sorry. Blasphemy.
He apparently is unsupportive of lesbian rock women.
I'm totally supportive of lesbian rock women.
Hashtag lesbian rock women.
Exactly.
I hope that catches on now.
But yeah, it's coming of age story for K.O. Just doing stuff around the store with his friends and such. Then we get those episodes where he is really coming of age. And those are really like some of the strongest episodes, where it becomes more of the emotional core of it.
Well, like I like the episode they did with Rad, where
like
he.
Like, Rad as a character is basically just sort of full of himself, so self-assured,
yeah, like,
just like the coolest bro on the block.
The main focus of the show is K.O., this little human kid who is a quasi martial arts master in his own little right.
Yeah.
Again, he's an adorable little dumpling in a headband. He has two major friends. The first one is Enid. She's this level-headed. She's sort of like his big sister kind of archetype that works at the bodega with him.
Yeah, just like puts her legs up, just like whatever.
Yeah, she's so cool. Like, that's the thing. She's the cool chick.
She's a cool chick that doesn't really care.
And you know, she's also a ninja, so that's pretty awesome in its own right.
Yeah, you get all the Naruto references from her.
Yeah, well, like when they did like the flashback, she clearly has like a weird like Ichi hentai book, and it's Sasuke and Naruto kissing.
I mean, my God, you couldn't get more on the nose than that, or what they're trying to reference.
It's great, but like that's the thing. She's cool. She's level-headed. She's very collected. She's laid back. She doesn't take her job really seriously. She doesn't really care about her job either.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just a really fun character in that right.
You know, juxtaposed to her is the other friend of OK K.O, and that's Radicles. He is a alien. Green skin. He kind of looks like Piccolo.
Yeah.
Green skin, antennae. He's got like hilariously curly Jew hair, though, as people have been calling it. People are like, why has he got a Jew fro?
He has got these big, massive muscles.
Yeah, but like we know why he's got muscles, though. It's because he's like yoked from working out.
Yeah. But he doesn't really need those muscles when he has his telekinetic abilities, because that's his
true.
main power.
That's true. When you have TK, like you really don't need to be that yoked. But he got yoked because of his TK, remember?
Right.
Their boss, Mr. Gar, who bears within a lawsuit distance of looking a lot like Mike Hagar. Mr. Gar, remember he had him like take out the trash, and he would use his telekinesis, and because he would have to use it and like lift it.
Yeah, that's how he got yoked.
Yeah, that's how he got yoked. And the thing about Rad, who's played by Ian Jones-Cordy, by the way, he's voiced by the creator, is that Rad he's the atypical employee. Like, he's apathetic, he doesn't really like his job. He just sort of does it because he kind of has to do it. Like, I think he might live in a van. No, I think maybe he does live in a house, actually.
No, I think he lives in a house because he has his parents and all that.
Oh, right, and the Kappa girl is, like, spying on him when he comes out of, like, bed to work out in his underwear.
Like that. That's for a little bit later in the discussion, but yeah.
I just thought he lived in his van because he has, what is it called? Rad's van?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he's given his own name because that's his one key trait. He's really self-involved and just thinks he's like the major shit of everything.
Yeah, when really he's just a booger.
He is the biggest weenie of all.
He is, like, his whole character is that he puts up a tough guy facade, but inside he's really sensitive and sweet, and he loves cute, like, small animals.
Yeah, and that sort of front, like, if you just, like, read that in like, a picture or something, it's just like, that seems like a really bland character sort of thing. Like, we see that archetype used everywhere.
Yeah, but, like, I think the thing that works about the show, and again, this is because they hit those character episodes that really kind of hit it home. Like, the episode where Rad, he made that YouTube video and it got really popular.
Yeah.
And then so, like, they wanted to make, like, a movie with him because for some reason Hollywood is so fucking desperate for ideas that they'll take YouTube personalities and give them full-fledged movies.
Well,
Isn't that right, Fred?
Yeah, Fred, Grumpy Cat, Smosh.
So, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Just how desperate. So, like one point in one video, like, Rad does a video where, he said, was it warp?
Yeah, it's just,
was the big thing?
Yeah, some sort of just weird phrase that he said at the end of his end of his video, but he became a meme because of that. Just everyone just going warp, 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 and they wanted him just basically say that just like a dancing monkey.
Yeah, so, like, he ends up being invited in by, like, a Hollywood producer, and they're making a movie, and it's like, you're playing the alien invader. Oh, okay, and he, like, looks at the script and it just says warp. And it's funny because there's, like, a brilliant commentary where he brings up where it's like, we can do better than this. We don't have to stick to stereotyping. We could actually make characters really, like, engaging and interesting, and we could really, like, break the glass ceiling on what we can do with characters. We don't have to stick to any one kind of archetype. And I guess, I don't...
You know what the funny thing is?
What's that?
Like, think of this commentary and compare it to the commentary we just saw in the Lego Ninjago movie about the strong female characters and such. And which one's really, like, making a bigger point here?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is, like, Red brings up the obvious point of, like, just because something is a trope doesn't mean you can't move past it.
Yeah.
Like, you could make a strong female character, and that's fine. And that's a trope in and of itself, like we've discussed this about DuckTales, where you and I have said, like, we're a little bit on edge, especially recently because we've watched, like, 7 episodes of the show, and Scrooge and Donald have basically been sidelined to primarily make it what feels like the Webby show, guest starring the triplets.
Yeah, and it makes it really disappointing because we get it, like, this Webby is a whole lot better than the old Webby. It's just like, that's not the reason why we came here, though.
But is she? Doesn't it feel like they just traded out the girly girl archetype for just the now Mabel Pines archetype, like the quirky tomboy-esque character? Yeah,
it's running that fine line of just basically just switching out one archetype for another.
And that's the thing, like, when you get down to, like, a basic of how we pitched Rad to you, yeah, it does sound basic. It does sound, are typical. It doesn't really sound that great. But that's the thing, is that when you watch episodes, you hit those points of those character-driven episodes, and you get to understand who he is and how he interacts. That he puts up the whole facade of, like, nothing bothers him, but on the inside, he's actually very sensitive and sincere.
And the same thing can be said for Enid and K.O. as well. On the bare level, they're both really basic archetypes. K.O. is just a kind-hearted little youth who just wants to help everybody, and Enid is just a laid-back, just doesn't care attitude. But as episodes go on, we see how they just really just bump heads with one another, and just have that interaction basically build upon itself. And then we get their backstories, which basically contextualizes how they've been acting, which basically makes them much more human characters.
Well, we get that really good episode you and I really liked, where Mr. Gar wanted to prove his, like, mental capability, so they go into, like, the dream state, and, like, everybody gets plugged into, like, a daisy chain, because it's like, oh, okay, Rad goes in to help Mr. Gar, Rad gets captured. Enid goes in to save Rad to save Mr. Gar, Enid's captured. So then K.O. has to go into Enid to then go into Rad to go save Mr. Gar. And it's cool because when you see that episode, you get to see the interior work of these characters, and you learn that, like, Enid is all cool and laid back, but she used to be, like, very uptight, very kind of paranoid about people's perception of her and who she is and how she's received by people, and how, in a way, she's still scared of how people might, like see her as a person.
Right.
And that's something, like, a young audience could really latch onto, because there is that anxiety of being afraid of, like, interacting with people, having that social awkwardness, and being unsure of, you know, will they know me for who I am, or will I fuck up? Will I do one thing and that's it? That's how they're going to remember me as.
Right, and that's something, like, that doesn't really, like, disappear from this episode, though. Like, that's sort of the best thing. Like, these are issues that basically just latch onto these characters and continues on with them. Because, like, in real life, like, I had that sort of same anxiety as well, like, what the people will think of me. Like, I've been wrestling with it for years and years. Like, it doesn't disappear after just one realization. It's just something that sticks into you. And that makes it human.
That's the thing, is that with these characters, they actually go into such a way that they're people, you know, everything's dialed up to 11 in terms of over-the-top quality.
Yeah.
From the action being insanely anime inspired. The opening was, I believe, it was helped conceived by the guy who opened Trigger Studios, the guy who did Kill la Kill, which is an amazing anime. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's beautiful. But that's the thing, is, like, the characters in this, you know, they feel like people. Like, I've known people who are like Rad, who put up a front of being like, yeah, I'm badass and tough, but really they're just like, you know, they're kind of broken on the inside, they're kind of unsure of themselves, they're afraid to look weak or cowardly. It's almost like he's almost like a commentary on toxic masculinity, where the idea is that he puts on the facade of the pure machismo, but inside he really isn't a bad person.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like what society expects of him.
Yeah. And K.O. is just the nice guy mentality, but just always having the world basically take advantage of his naivete to basically push him towards the wrong path.
Because he's a dumpling.
Yeah, he's just a little dumpling. Don't hurt our dumpling.
Don't hurt our dumpling. Yeah, and that's the thing, that, like, K.O. is this sweet, kind, friendly, outgoing kid. You've seen this character. It's basically kind of like Son Goku during the Dragon Ball era. Which is funny, because K.O. is voiced by the woman who played Gohan.
Yeah. So
who I think also voiced Kid Goku at some point, so...
Yeah, so it's very fitting.
So it's very fitting. And that's the thing, is, like, we get to see, like... they play even with trope archetypes, too. Like, K.O. meets a villain. I think it was a shadowy figure.
You're right.
Who uses... They play the whole dark power type, like how Ryo has the dark Hado. How... the main guy from Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho had, like, the demon power, and he grew, like, the long hair and everything.
Yeah.
They play with those archetypes, where the idea is, like, K.O. can be powerful if he gives into his darker nature, but that's not who he wants to be. And they play with that angle, and they show that it's actually like an inner turmoil for him, because he's a little kid, so he's impatient. He wants to be strong and powerful, but at the same time, he doesn't want to give up who he is. Even if it means, like, I'll be strong and powerful, because when he does give in a little bit to, like, the Dark Hado for a bit, he beats the fuck out of Rad.
Breaks all of his bones.
Yeah, he fucks Rad up in a fight really badly.
And
that's the thing, is that... it is hilarious. Like, make no mistake, it's so funny.
We like Rad, but it's also really funny when he gets hurt.
Well, he's still a little bit of a dillweed. I mean...
Yeah.
He's a butt, so it's still kind of funny. But that's the thing, is, like, with K.O., because he's so sweet and innocent, and the allure to go the easy way to get what you want it's tempting.
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing, because it's like, it kind of teaches kids where it's like, yeah, there is an easy way to do something, but there's an easy way, and then there's the right way. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you could do it the easy way, but when push comes to shove, you got to do it the right way, because when you do it the right way, it gets done. There's no chance of fucking it up, because doing it the easy way, you could just do it the wrong way. And then you have to clean up. You're spending more time trying fixing your problem than if you just did it right the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I dig that. There's a heart to that. The villain,
Lord
Boxman, Played by Jim Cummings. Jimmy, I love you. Jimmy C, I love you so much. You're one of my favorite voice actors of all time. It is so good to see you in something else as a main villain.
Yeah, and I really love Lord Boxman. He is just the perfect mixture of just corniness.
He's such a butt.
He really is. And he fully embraces that he's just a major butt.
He's so funny. Like, he does so many funny things. He has so many funny quirks. Like, when he's, like, spying on people and he looks through the blinds and he just says, like, I'm gonna spy on you. Like a creep.
Yeah, like a creep.
Like, that's hilarious.
It's like, I hate friendship.
Yeah, like, yeah, he hates the friendship of the kids across the street from his business.
Yeah, he just bluntly
the fact
just
that
hates it. It's just like, unambiguously, I hate friendship, the concept of it.
It's like the guy from it's like Principal Krupp from Captain Underpants.
Yeah.
It's like just he unabashedly hates happiness. Like, it's not a deep villain. It's nowhere near like Steven Universe where the villains are more multi-layered as the show goes on.
Yeah.
But you know the thing is, I'm fine with that because, and I've said this to you, and incidentally, it's funny because I came to this conclusion by watching Jim Cummings playing another character. Because I was watching the Mickey Mouse Three Musketeers with you.
Yeah.
And Jim Cummings in that plays Peg Leg Pete, the cat with the peg leg.
Right.
And I had said to you after the film ended, I said, you know, if you can't make a character that's multifaceted or multi-layered or emotional, in the very minimum you could always do, make your villain entertaining.
Exactly.
And Lord Boxman is very entertaining. He's very funny.
He really is. And all of his robot kids basically just help add onto his comedy.
What a hilariously dysfunctional, broken family.
Yeah, we have Daryl,
Daryl, Shannon, Raymond, Jethro.
I am Jethro.
Yeah, the one that only like repeats his name. Daryl's the Cyclops with the brain in the jar. Shannon is the one who actually probably had the most story and was actually really fascinating with her with her character arc that they were doing.
Yeah, with a romance with Red at one point.
Yeah, and then Raymond is he's the Bishonen. He's the pretty one.
Yeah, the pompous one. It's like, oh.
Yeah, oh, like oh god, like the guy from Attack on Titan Abridged.
Yeah.
I love that pompous douche attitude.
Yeah, I know, I love that sort of character archetype. It's paper thin, but it's just hilarious.
Yeah, but like he's not boring though, so that's what matters.
Exactly.
And that's the thing though, is that you watch this and like the characters aren't super deep or nothing, but like they start to get layer as they go a little bit. It's all pretty much on K.O, Enid, and Rad most of all. But then they have like a huge colorful cast of characters like Michael Sinterklaas, the guy who plays Dean Venture from Venture Brothers. He was in this, and he plays a character called Hero, who's clearly just Cloud Strife.
Yeah. Like that.
So like Cloud Strife shows up, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, Diedrich Bader shows up as like I think he was like a bazooka-toting Cupid.
Right.
And that's where we get to learn that like Enid used to like she tried to date Brad because Brad was the kind of cool guy in school and she was the nerdy girl.
Wait, no, he wasn't the cool guy in school. He was a nerd.
Wasn't? Was he? I thought he was like the cool guy in school.
No, he was wearing that plaid shirt and all that. He was just all weak and scrawny. Like he was trying to put on a front, just like, oh yeah, no, I'm actually cool. But no, he wasn't
really,
cool.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he's just a nerdy idiot.
That's where you have like the aspect where it's like he keeps getting words of wisdom from like
his two horrible friends.
His two horrible friends, where it's like treat a girl like crap. They like that kind of stuff. And it's like he does that and the relationship fails. It utterly is decimated.
It's utterly destroyed.
And that's the thing, actually. One character I think we need to bring up because she's kind of important to an extent, even though she's just a support, but she's still a strong support. And that's Dendi, the Kappa girl.
Yeah.
Because this show actually explores racism. They do actually, like, I think it's like it's 11 minutes. I don't think it was any of the specials.
No.
But they do like an 11-minute episode exploring this idea, because the aspect was like, in this world like where all heroes get cards, K.O. asked, like, how come you don't have a card, Dendi? She's like, oh, I'm a Kappa. Kappas don't get cards, People only think of us as, like monsters. Like, they don't think of us as people.
Yeah, and there's, like, multiple interesting aspects to that. Because at first, K.O. is just like, no, I don't want my POW cards if it means that you can't get one. And they're thinking, like, to throw their POW card collections into a volcano because they get rid of them entirely, and they just can't do it because there is such a more emotional connection to their cards, which can be said the same thing with like a lot of different things. Like nowadays, like even the worst example, I would say like the Confederate flag, even though that's clearly a racist symbol, obviously, but there are a lot of people that have that emotional connection to it. Obviously, the POW cards are a lot better than that flag, though.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, it's almost a commentary on that. But in the very least, they went to the place where they make POW cards, and they said, like, why don't you give Kappas a chance to really prove themselves to be, like, they have good qualities, that they can be heroes. And the guy in charge was like, nobody wants to buy cards with Kappas on them. And they're like, why don't you just give it a shot? What do you have really to lose? And he's like, yeah, but Kappas don't accomplish anything. And they even say, like, yeah, do you know any Kappas, though? Can you honestly, like, definitively as a state of fact actually say that that's true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But just the instant that they brought Kappas into it, like, they get an influx of money, which is also another commentary basically saying, like, this was a good idea now because we got money.
Yeah, and that's almost a commentary on, like, Marvel Comics with its SJW branding, where they started changing character personalities to fit, like, the Tumblr-esque, like, toxicity of how people start perceiving other people.
Yeah.
Because it's a money-making scheme.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, the commentary on that, and, like, that's really intelligent when you stop and think about it. Like, they actually sit down and they explore that, and you're like, oh, that's actually pretty clever.
Yeah, and the last bit of cleverness is to it, like the guy that was running the company didn't really just have a change of heart sort of thing. Was just like, oh wow, I really realized that I was wrong for doing this. No, he just completely changed because I got money now, so yeah, for me, I just like my bottom line.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more real.
Yeah, and there are people who are like that when it comes down to it, they, like, again, Marvel's a prime example where they're changing characters and they're doing all these things, and because at the end of the day, they just want that bottom dollar. It doesn't matter if they might be spreading toxicity. It doesn't matter if, they're taking core characters that people have loved for years and completely changing them, solely isolating your original demographic to chase the dragon, if you will, to get an all-new demographic, just to make a quick, like, inburst of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show is that clever when it comes down to it. What would you rate this, WHYBOY, in your opinion?
This is a must-watch for me. Like, I would just recommend this to anybody to watch. Like, there's nothing in it that I feel that would basically deter anyone away, in my opinion. So, if you are at all interested in anything that we said here, watch OK K.O. They're almost about to finish the first season, and they're actually going to be ending off with Enid, K.O. and Rad basically doing a commentary on the pilot episode of this show.
I dig that, because that pilot was...
It was pretty awkward.
No offense to Ian. Obviously, a pilot is just to get the gist across. That pilot looked terrible. If I didn't have the context for the show I do now, and I only saw the pilot, I don't think I would have came back for this. I think I would have been like, well, fuck that.
Yeah, everyone's got Squidward noses and all that. This is weird.
Yeah, this is weird and disconcerting. I would agree with you. I'd give it a must-watch. I love the animation. I like the voice acting and the characters. I would be totally down if they started making merch off this stuff.
Yeah, I would like to get a POW card.
Oh, like, it's surprising. You can easily make a card game based on this show. You could easily make a video game, which I heard that they're working on, based on the show.
Yeah, they're working on one, as far as I've heard, yeah.
Like, to me, this proves my point, though. Like, my point that I've always had with, like, say, Teen Titans Go. Comedy and action-packed.
Yeah, it can work.
It can work. It works for Stephen Yu. It works for OK K.O. I would dare argue, even though it's just the pilot, I argue it works for Infinity Train.
Yeah, it really does. You can have that drama of the action along with the comedy and can meld really well. You don't gotta be all like Teen Titans Go and just be like, oh, what are you people thinking about? It's not like the old show at all. You're just idiots for thinking that.
Yeah, like with Teen Titans Go and Powerpuffs, where it's like they argue, yeah, it's all for a new generation. Yeah, but you're clearly exploiting the nostalgia factor. At least OK K.O. Yeah, there's like some nostalgia with some of the character archetypes. But nobody, like, it's still a new property, though. It's still fresh.
Yeah, they took their own spin on it. If you wanted to take your own spin on Teen Titans Go and Powerpuff Girls, you could have gone and done that, but you didn't. It's basically the same formula, just in your lens of things.
Yeah, to make money. Again, that's the exploitative nature of it.
Yeah, so you just hide behind your shield just saying, like, oh, you people just don't understand us. You all are just a bunch of haters.
Yeah.
And
so...
Yeah, certainly there are haters out there, but just shows like OK K.O. prove that there is a large audience that just really does want that action-packed comedy, and it can be really successful for it.
Yeah, and you could still balance in drama, too. You could be narratively driven while at the same time being episodic. OK K.O. does it. Steven Universe does it. You can do it. It's not impossible. Regular Show did it. Adventure Time did it. So don't tell us, like, oh, yeah, but Teen Titans Go really captures that demographic we want because, you know, we're able to sell the toys. You know, you could probably sell the toys of the other stuff if you marketed it better, right? Like, if you didn't just flood your network with one property.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if the original Teen Titans had, like, a lot of merch out, people would have been buying it up because that was, like, one of the biggest cartoons of that generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been the same for, like, a lot of their properties, actually.
Well, guys, we do thank you for stopping by. You know, we can't express how much we enjoy OK K.O. enough. It's solid animation, voice acting, storytelling. It does great drama. It does hilarious comedy. And it does great commentary, much in the same way of, like, Gumball. Gumball also, great commentary on stuff.
Yeah, really. Like, Gumball is probably just be, like, on the same level of, like, how much I love OK. Like, I love Gumball just about as much.
We do appreciate you guys for stopping by. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, that's a thing now. If you guys want, you could always support us through Patreon or TeePublic. Both links are in the description below. And what happens is that money gets funneled back into the show. You can support us with VidMe. And the beauty about that is if you go to our website, you can go to our VidMe. VidMe is a service. It's much like YouTube, but it's old school YouTube. It's by content creators for content creators to give power back to us. Because as you guys have seen with YouTube, it's slowly turning into a toxic location where even your higher up creators are being affected. Like I heard that Jacksepticeye said that on it, like 2 of his videos, they got demonetized.
Yeah, it's a really hard time. Like, even on YouTube right now, we've gotten hit a few times for just some really small videos of ours.
Yeah, so VidMe is the place we all want to grow. You're going to find a lot of your content creators are going there, and in a lot of ways, by supporting that, you're going to help them grow, and honestly, then YouTube could crumble, and it will go into the dust, because it'll show them that you betrayed what initially started. It was about the content creators, not the corporations, basically making it like ad fanfare.
Right. So if you're missing any videos on YouTube that you want to see from us, go over to VidMe or our website ToonGrin.com. You'll be able to see all videos up there for all your viewing pleasure.
Yeah. And as always, guys, remember, be sure to tune in
to ToonGrin.
Also, make sure to check out that Captain Planet episode, because no joke, they actually got the people who worked on that to come back and do it. They got Dave Coburn to come back and play Captain Planet. I haven't seen that character since the 90s, and it was amazing.
That was a beautiful episode, especially at the ending where they just showed the Captain Planet style with all the OK characters in it.
God, that was like 5 kinds of creepy.
That it so totally was. Not as creepy as the pilot episode, though.
No.
Punch.
Punch!